Hello, and welcome to Ms. PM Reads Christian Content, where we are continuing in Abscond by GG Wagner. And in the last video, Lyzee woke up, not sure why, and discovered that somebody was shining a flashlight in her window and is disturbed by that, and rightfully so. And she has the various people coming over to help her and the neighborhood watch checking it out and that sort of thing. And we do have a detective that shows up at the end as well. And she recognizes a faint citrusy smell of cologne. So that is where we stopped. Life is Normal is the name of this section. The picture frame was shiny and new, but the photo all too familiar. Lyzee's image slightly reflected in the glass that transposed her face over Rory's, and she wished her own smile was as exuberant. It still made no sense. Rory could have been best friends with the most popular girls in school, but instead she chose her, Lyzee thought. An involuntary tic raked her shoulders, and she fought back tears. Lyzee set the frame back on the shelf and grabbed her backpack. She was to the end of the driveway, mentally tallying her checklist. Lights off, stove off, alarm not on. Already running late, she didn't have time for this. Still, she turned back toward the bungalow. Later, Lyzee's eyes searched the tables in the Johnson Center. She really thought Finley would already be there. Choosing a table facing the door, she pulled out her computer and analyzed its battery life. She breathed a sigh of relief, knowing it would be good for a little while before it needed to be plugged in. Lyzee retrieved her notes and glanced away from the screen while she repeated the definition of rigor in quantitative research for the thousandth time. That is when she saw Finley crossing the room. "You look so serious," Finley teased. Lyzee smiled, the definitions fleeing her brain, wishing good grades came as easily for her as they did for Finley. Feigning impatience, she tapped her fingers rhythmically on the table, waiting for Finley to sit. She choked down a laugh, watching her friend rip through her bag, dumping the entire contents onto the table. Genius or not, Finley was the most scatterbrained person she knew. "I think I left my computer in the car. I'll be back," Finley said. Turning her attention back to her studies, Lyzee slunk behind the screen, suppressing a light-hearted smile. Finley knew how to make an entrance, that was for sure. "What's so funny on that screen, beautiful?" It took a moment for Lyzee's brain to process. She stared wide-eyed while her smile faded and every hair on the back of her neck bristled. Lyzee groped the tabletop, running her fingers over the books in an attempt to ground herself. This was her space, where she had an opportunity to leave behind everything that had happened in Samuel's Gate, and in walks Milo. "Why are you here?" "You need to leave," Lyzee said. Milo took a couple of steps, moving behind her chair. She could feel his hot breath on her neck, causing her body to shudder. Her voice was barely a whisper in her ear. His voice was barely a whisper. "I need your old computer, and the one you used when we were dating. I'm not playing around. If you don't cooperate, they're coming after you and Jamie," Milo said. Staring straight ahead without seeing anything, Lyzee felt her heart beating out of control. His arms had encircled her with his beefy palms planted firmly on the table. Sucking in a breath, she felt his knee on the back of her seat. Using a steady force, he shoved her forward, trapping her in the heavy wooden chair. "Don't make me come looking for it again," Milo whispered. She forced a sound, not a scream, but all she could muster with the lack of oxygen. It was enough to catch the attention of some students sitting at a nearby table. Curious eyes turned in her direction. She felt the sudden release of her chair, and Milo slipped past her with his head down and cap pulled to cover his face. Momentarily stunned, Lyzee's mind was racing. This did not make sense. What did he want with that old computer? Her mouth dropped open, thinking of his words. This confirmed he was the one that had broken in. He threatened Jamie. Adrenaline surged through her body. She jumped from the chair, knocking it over, feeling the eyes of the room shift in her direction once more. She loaded her backpack, knowing the tears were coming. Slinging the chair to its upright position, she rushed through the door, coming face to face with Finley. "I've got to go. Call you later," Lyzee said. Glancing over her shoulder, grateful that Finley was not following, Lyzee tightened the strap, securing her bag snugly to her back. Her feet hit the sidewalk, slowly at first, but with each step, she stretched her legs further, pumping her arms faster until she could feel the wind blowing through her hair. She gulped for air, her heart galloping, concentrating on her breathing. 1, 2, 3, in. 1, 2, out. Her diaphragmatic contraction filling her lungs with oxygen, breathing in, breathing out, finding her stride. A calm settled over her mind, making a way for a verse from her memory to penetrate her heart. "For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father." Romans 8:15. At home later, Lyzee tightened the belt to her robe, capturing her hair in the towel and tucking the end into the fold. It would help if she could see what she was doing, but the foggy mirror was useless. She reminded herself to mention to Sharon that the exhaust fan was obviously not working. Reaching into the drawer for her moisturizer, she looked back into the mirror, noticing that there were letters that had appeared. Taking a step back to take it all in, she gasped. Beautiful. Beautiful. Her eyes transfixed on the doorknob while rummaging through the drawers, she pulled out the stainless steel nail scissors. Turning them over in her right hand, her left hovered over the knob. She flung the door open. A step or two into the room, she let out a blood-curdling scream as the ice maker dumped the frozen cubes into the empty pan. Recognizing the noise she was quite accustomed to, she laughed, taking in a deep breath. Making her way across the floor, she checked the lock on the front door. It was locked, and so were the windows. Questioning her sanity, she stepped back into the bathroom with the door open. The fog and word had vanished. She must be seeing things. No one was there. Flipping the switch, the motor groaned hesitantly into a full hum. Knowing that had been on when she got into the shower, Lyzee felt a warmth creeping up her neck. She felt lightheaded, and the room went black. "Lyzee? Lyzee, are you okay? You passed out. It's going to be all right. You just need to listen to me, and then I'll go," Milo explained. Sitting up in a panic, Lyzee could not find her voice. She attempted to scream, but only a muffled, breathy sound emerged. Her heart raced in her chest and her insides shook. His lingering smell made her feel nauseous. "Get away from me," Lyzee yelled. "Calm down. I don't want to hurt you. Just tell me where that computer is," Milo said. Lyzee looked up, glaring into his face. The hair on her arms stood on end. "It's not here," Lyzee said, seething inside from his presence. She shrugged his hand away, pulling the robe tight around her waist. Standing to her feet, she grabbed for the side of the vanity, her head a little woozy. Milo had moved out of the bathroom. She watched as he paced back and forth, sensing his agitation. Standing still now, with his arms crossed over his chest, he was staring at her. "Lyzee, people I work for want that computer. If I don't bring it to them, then what? Why would anyone want my computer?" Lyzee screamed. then they'll come and get it themselves. I'm trying to keep you safe. And Jamie, Milo's voice cracked. How dare you threaten an innocent baby and keep us safe? From what? Lyzee screamed. You have brought me nothing but pain since the first time I laid eyes on you. I couldn't imagine anyone being able to hurt me more than you already have. Lyzee shoved past him, flopping onto the couch, her jaw clenched as tight as her fists, the anger raging inside and escaping through her squinted eyes. I'm not meaning to smile at the situation, but I can see that picture. She felt the tension in her furrowed brows. Watching as Milo approached, her body stiffened as he towered over her with limp arms dangling. Her words exploded, releasing the hatred she had bottled up. You turned my life into a worse nightmare than it already was. But Jamie has a chance to have a normal life with a real family, and you're not going to mess it up. You don't have to believe me, but I'm trying to keep you from getting any more involved in this. My boss is a human trafficker that I double-crossed by not turning you over, Milo said. Lyzee heard the ringing in her ears. She felt clammy. Leaping up, she thrust her head over the toilet, her stomach convulsing. She felt his hand brush through her hair, making her skin crawl. Get your hands off me, Lyzee screamed. I messed up and didn't follow protocol. That computer is a link connecting us all, and I need it. If I give them what they want and some assurance that you're not going to cause any problems, well, I think we can walk away from this. Milo paced back and forth outside of the open bathroom door. They're nervous, Lyzee, and I wouldn't put it past them to go after Jamie. You can't tell anyone what's going on, Milo pleaded. How do they know about Jamie? It was the custody hearing. That's when they realized we had a baby. If you tell anyone about what I've told you, especially the police, I can promise you the traffickers will come after you, Jamie, and whoever else that's close to you. These are bad people, Milo said. The hum of Sharon's car pulling into the driveway sent Milo scurrying like a rat, leaving Lyzee alone. Melting into the couch cushion, she raked her fingers through her hair. None of this had happened here, but somehow it had found her. Picking up her cell phone, she stared at it. Would the police believe her? Flinging it across the couch, she pulled her knees up, wrapping her arms around them. Why should they? She couldn't even believe it herself. And that is where we're going to stop. That's the end of this section. Oh boy. So poor Lyzee's not out of the woods yet. Yep, it happens. The choices we make, stuff happens. Got to be careful and wise and aware. All right, you guys. I'm preaching to the choir probably. I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you next time.